Welcome back, trader. Hope you had an amazing New Year's with your family. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you how to figure out the direction of the market. I know you're struggling with this right now. I know that this is something that's important, especially when you feel lost. You feel like you're not able to understand what the market's doing, if it's going up, down, it's consolidating, whatever it is. I want you to know that I'm here for you. In this video, I'm going to help you. I'm going to cover a few different points to help you figure out the direction of the market and what actually worked for me and helped my wife also pass her 200K challenge. So with that being said, make sure you stick around to the end of the video because the last point's going to definitely help you out with your trading and help you take it to the next level. With that being said, welcome to the family as well. If you're new, make sure you guys hit the like button and you're subscribed. Let's get started with this video. All right, team. So let's dive in. So what are we looking at here overall? As you guys could see, this is the weekly time frame. So typically, I'm sure you've heard this multiple times. When in doubt, you want to zoom out and look at the bigger picture. I'll give you a short example. If you only focus on the corner of the picture of the puzzle, how are you going to understand the overall bigger picture, the end result? You won't be able to understand the end result. Why? Because you're focusing so much on the corner piece of the puzzle that you're not looking at the overall end result, which is the picture, the entire picture, right? So in order to do that, typically the way it's worked for me and worked for many other traders is that you want to focus on looking at the overall full picture instead of just focusing on a corner piece or focusing on narrowing in too much, which a lot of traders make this massive mistake. But I'm gonna be sharing with you guys a secret sauce here. And essentially what you want to do is this, guys. Don't focus so much on the zoomed in picture. Focus on looking at literally the larger picture first on the higher time frames. But within the larger picture, watch this. This is a little bit confusing. Within the larger picture on the higher time frames, you don't want to go too far out. Okay, so what I'm going to share with you guys here is typically the way we've been taught, including myself. When I first started trading, I was taught this way, which was crazy. And thank God I figured this out, that this is not the correct way of trading. Okay, so if we notice that the markets right now, if I kind of zoom out a little bit, you kind of see it's kind of in this upwards trend line. Let me kind of zoom out more so you guys can see it a little bit better. But if you guys take a notice here, okay, look at this. So if we notice here, we are technically looking at the market. You could say it's a channel. You could say there's so many things, right? The people like to label it different ways and stuff like that. But let's say we can do a straight line here. We're going to make it a little bit thicker. There we go. So this is an upwards trend line for some people, right? But in reality, I'm going to share with you something that probably not some, I don't know if you guys have heard this before, but this is all that matters. Okay, we want to focus on just current price action. So not going too far. Typically, I like to say anywhere between maximum 2 years of a difference when it comes to price action. So don't go too far out when you're trying to figure out what data you want to work with. So kind of like typically, if anything, I'm going to zoom out around here on the higher time frame, at least on the weekly here. I don't want to go far beyond than, like, let's say 2022. We're on 2024. That's 2 years. That's perfect, right? So I just want to look at this current price action. So I can say, hey, you know what? The market right now, basically how we could see here, we've been creating higher highs. We broke this structure over here at this high here. Now we've kind of broken below here a little bit. You could see it's actually kind of, it hasn't fully mitigated this low here. You can see these wicks here, but technically we're kind of stuck in this consolidation range. That's literally what I see here for now, right? Definitely, if we do break these lows over here, we're definitely going to be looking at a potential push to the downside, but that's kind of, we can talk about that later. But right now, what we want to focus on is understanding the market structure, understanding the overall direction, right? And so, like I said, none of this matters. When you look at it the way we've been taught in the past, and I was taught before, you know, this was technically bullish all of a sudden. But in reality, guys, are we really bullish by looking at it like this? No. Now I'm going to share with you guys how you can actually look at this. So if we look at this from the weekly time frame, okay, we're currently on the weekly time frame. We can see that we are technically right now bearish. Okay, now we can understand that this bearish candle closure broke below this low here, and so we are technically bearish. If we go down to the daily time frame, we can start understanding, okay, where are we in the markets here? So we are at a point where, you know, price hasn't really broken below this area here. So technically we could say, you know what, we're literally at the bottom of this range. Okay, so yes, shorter term, we have been creating these lower highs. So this is telling me, you know what, the overall kind of sentiment is to the downside shorter term. However, we can anticipate that the market may be just grabbing some liquidity at these lows to then give us an impulse to the upside. Okay, so this is another thing that we have to understand, is understanding the market sentiment. It's not just going into it and just saying, okay, well, on the weekly, this trend line is kind of creating higher highs and higher lows and it looks like it's pushing up. No, it's understanding each candlestick, right? Closure of each candle. Now I'm going to explain something right now. For example, here, if we focus on, let's say this area here, okay? One of the most important things, and by the way, this is the daily time frame. Pay attention to this, okay? One of the most important things is we have to understand that this is the previous, higher low. Why? Well, because price broke above this previous high right here. You see, this was the previous high, right? Price came here. This was the previous higher low, right? Price pulled back to this area of demand, gave us the impulse back up, breaking above these previous highs. Okay, so we're bullish. At that point, we understand that we're bullish. However, price then broke back down, came back down to this level of demand over here. We got a reaction to it. However, it seems like it came back down and retested it multiple times, probably on the smaller time frame, which again, that's another day for another video. But we could see that price, the only way I'm going to be looking for sells is once we actually close below this previous higher low. Okay, this is understanding the direction of the market. So if I look at this, I'm not looking for buys or sells just yet, but technically shorter term, like intraday or even scalping, I'm looking for buys. But I'm going to be looking for sells once we break what? This previous low. Okay, now this is the daily time frame. This really helps the daily and the 4 hour to understand the overall kind of bigger picture, the direction of the market. Now, if we look at this here right now, shorter term, like I was telling you, this is the 4 hour time frame. We're looking for buys, right? But now we understand that, okay, you know, we got a reaction here, but there's a probability that price is just reacting to this level to then potentially retest this area of demand to continue to move down. Now, if we let this play out just to see what happens here, we saw a break of structure. Now let's keep playing it because I want to see a candle closure below. Okay, so once we get a full candle closure of this area like this, like a bearish candle closure below this low, right? Below these previous lows here and these lows over here, then this is a higher probability that we're going to see continuation to the downside. So let's play it out and see what happens here. And let's see. Boom. Okay, we got this beautiful closure. Now let's actually go back, take this one step further. Let's go back just to this area here. So beautiful. We got that candle closure right here. We have a beautiful strong candle closure below this low over here. Even this candle right here indicated that, you know what, this is the direction it wants to go. This is the 4 hour time frame, guys. If we go to the daily, okay, we're gonna see obviously this doesn't play too well here on TradingView, but technically we broke these lows here. Clearly closed below these lows. If we go back down to the 4 hour time frame, we can understand that that's the direction it wants to go. The market wants to go. So now if we go back to the 4 hour time frame and we actually kind of play this out, we can wait for some sort of a retracement even to this area, but you can see it's super bearish for its potential continuation to the downside. Boom, there we go. We have a 4 hour area here where we have the impulse. I'm sure if we go to the 1 hour time frame, this looks a little bit better, but you can see price literally pulled back up to this area of previous level support and future level resistance. You can see it right there. You can see this is the 1 hour time frame. What happened? Price came back up to the zone, and then we had a beautiful continuation to the downside. Now, if you guys look at this, guys, another secret that I'm gonna share with you guys is also we got a break of this 200 simple moving average. If you look at it over here, guys, this really is a helpful tool. Now, if you go over here, you can see this is the SMA, and I'm going to click on this here so you can see these are the settings. I have source close, offset 0, and we have length 200. Now, why is this important? This is really important because this helps me understand kind of the overall sentiment of the market. Now, this is just a kind of like a short rundown of the last 200 candles indicating what the overall sentiment of the market is. What direction is the market going? So the fact that we actually had this bearish closure below this area of support is a massive indication that most likely price is going to continue and respect this area to the downside, right? And if we kind of actually play this out and see where the market ended up going, and if we look at the past two as well, we see that every time the market was technically above this 200 moving average, we were looking for more buys than sells overall. Okay, even though price pulled back down, it then gave us the push back up and even a little bit higher, creating a higher high, and then price finally broke it to this level. We're retesting this area, so we're retesting just literally above our 200 moving average here. We came to this area, a 1 hour area of supply or resistance, sorry. We can see that we have a beautiful rejection of this 200 EMA, which is massive. It's just telling us the overall kind of confirmation that, you know what, the market wants to head this direction, especially on the 4 hour, especially on the 1 hour time frame. When you have multiple time frame confirmations, this indicates to me that, you know what, this is the direction the market wants to go. So if you actually play this out, guys, let's pay attention and see what ended up happening. We could have easily entered positions here for potential shorts. Again, you could have done like a 60 pip stop loss, kind of target the lows. This would have been a massive swing trade. I'm not saying to do this type of trade position, but just to show you guys an example, this would have been a beautiful trade opportunity. Why? We looked at a 1 hour level of resistance. We had the 200 SMA above price, which you can see beautifully above price over here. And you can see over here price Every time price came here, pulled back, what happened? It kept going, pulled back, kept going up, pulled back, kept going up, right? It's just a magnet. Once it broke below this area, it retested it as resistance, right? So this is literally the same thing. Obviously, I like to use the higher time frames because this kind of just confirms to us that this is, you know, the overall sentiment of the market and how we're able to kind of understand, okay, you know what? My 200 EMAs, price has broken my 200 EMA on the 4-hour time frame. This is a strong indication that this is the direction the market wants to go. Right now it's bearish because we got a break of the 200 EMA, but also just the 200, we got a break of these previous lows. And if we go back up to the daily, you can understand clearly how the importance of this potential or previous higher low, right? Price was creating higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. What happened? We even created a higher high. We had this full body closure above this previous high, but what happened? Once price pulled back, it didn't respect this previous higher low. That to me is indication number one, like flag, this is the new direction the market wants to go. And again, focusing on only the higher time frames like the daily and the 4-hour, we want to look for these potential breaks of structure, breaks of previous higher lows or breaks of previous lower highs. So once we get, I'm going to show you guys another example so we can kind of go here. Let's look at CAD JPY. Okay, so let's look at CAD JPY here. What do we got? Let's kind of start. Actually, you know what? CAD JPY is a good example here. Let's go back down to the 4-hour time frame. So if we look at the daily time frame here, I'm going to clear this off so it looks better. We can see clearly that price was in this range. Okay, every time price came to this range at these lows, right, we had an impulse to the upside. Price came down this area, pushed up. What happened once we actually broke below the previous higher low? We had a break of structure and price, what happened? Came back up to this area, okay, previous level of support, future level of resistance, and then gave us a massive push to the downside, right? Now, why was I going to be looking for potential sells? Well, if we go down to the 4-hour time frame, you could literally see that the market broke this previous higher low right here, over here, okay, on the higher time frame. I know that we're looking, you would probably be looking more over here on the smaller time frames, but on the higher time frame, this is the previous higher low, right, to then give us a potential break of the structure. Once we had a break of this previous higher low or this level of structure, because sometimes it could be an equal low, right, we have equal lows here, right, we then came back. Price will typically come back up to this previous level of support or previous level of resistance and retest it. On this retest, this is when we want to be looking for potential shorts. And this is how we're able to understand, guys, on the higher time frames, the direction of the market. Now, where is our EMA, guys? Take a look at this. Let me know in the comments, guys, if you guys are understanding this overall. Look at the EMA. Right now, it's retesting it as support on the daily, but where was the EMA here? It was at these lows here, but on the 4-hour time frame, where was the EMA shifting to? So it was trending to the upside, and then we started to see a curve here confirming that the overall direction or market sentiment is now to the downside. You can see it clearly here. We had the break of structure, breaking below the previous low. Price came back up to this major 4-hour area, and then we got a beautiful rejection of this area, not only once, but twice, but also 3 times, guys. This is 3 different opportunities that you could have been shorting the markets and profiting heavily. Okay, so guys, that is all I have for today. If you want to see more videos, let me know in the comments what other videos you'd like to see on the channel. I'd be more than glad to be able to share that with you guys. But I hope that this video blessed you guys. Got lots more content. Also, make sure you guys check out my inner circle group if you guys want to join. The link is in the video description below for that. Also, we have a free Telegram group, guys. You guys can join in on that as well. And now we have a Discord group for my VIP members. So we're super excited about that too. Lots of stuff that is coming for the year 2024. With that being said, I hope you guys have a blessed day and God bless.